That's right. I'm back. And this time, I'm back on Regina. I gave her a new haircut because she's, in a new country, new continent, all that type of fun shit. So, I think we can raise this up just a tad bit. That's because I should be naturally louder, but we'll see. Anyhow, put that back on. Put that in. All right. Let's go do some tank roll questing. How loud is that? Oh shit, that might be a bit too loud. I raised it up by 2 decibels. Let's lower it down by 1. Loazinique. Loazinique. I think I can say that. The narwhal beckons. The young woman gazes into the horizon with a troubled expression. Oh, hello. Judging by your attire, you must be the traveler from across the seas. And I suppose Brooke Evu has enlisted you to our aid. Nodders. So I hear you got something stolen from you. That you were guided here safely must be the work of the brave narwhal, who remains watchful even in this dire time. We are ever grateful for its vigilance. My name is Lozinique, and I hail from the northern reaches of Shaktaral, where even our breath freezes when caught in the chilling winds. Damn, I haven't gone there yet. Our people revere a Taral Vidral of the narwhal, whose essence rests in the cradle of the sleepless, our most sacred treasure. Through fathomless depths it swam without rest, protecting its home from any who would do it harm. And there's a fucking train passing by now. God damn it. Legends tell that the narwhal could place the burden of its fatigue upon another, and thus was able to maintain its vigil night and day. So too can any who possess the cradle lull a person, willing or no, into a deep slumber, all while avoiding the need for sleep themselves. Sounds pretty good. Needless to say, such power could cause untold harm in the wrong hands. Thus was the greatest warrior of our village, Tentowa, tasked with crossing the ocean and returning that which is most sacred to us. Excuse me. I'd have joined him, but I feared I would only be a burden. So I remained here that I might find someone to send to his aid. Tentowa has ever rushed bravely and blindly into the thick of things, leaving me behind to watch and worry. But if there's anything I can do to help him, even a little, then I must. Brooke Evu has done well to send you to me. I can tell you are just the woman to temper his more reckless tendencies and keep him safe during his quest. As luck would have it, a letter from Tentowa arrived shortly before you did. It seems he discovered that the thief made their way to a place called Ishgard. While I don't doubt his prowess, even Tentowa would be rendered helpless before the narwhal's lullaby. Please, could you follow him to Ishgard and find him before he does anything rash? Oh, yeah. Ishgard is like a second home to me. Excuse me. Thank you, Regina. I knew the narwhal would guide a brave protector to our side. Tentowa sails to an unfamiliar place, but despite his hasty nature, he doubtless spent time gathering information about his new surroundings before planning his next step. If Ishgard has a place like this one, where people gather to drink and talk, he might go there first. Ask for a swordsman with blue hair and attire like mine. And I'm sure it won't be long until you find him. Yay! I'm going to Ishgard and not Gridania this time. Excitement! Oh, that's right. I have a bunch of these quests I'm still doing. You say nothing! Oh, wait, no. I got 3 teleport 2 pulled off. We'll take that and then go to Ishgard. I'm going to be guessing we're going to have to silence the spell that puts people to sleep. And that's pretty much it. I think that's like the biggest thing we gotta do. Where am I going again? Ishgard, right? Gibralont? I guess we're going to the, what's it called? Aetheryte Plaza. Oh. That's right. He's the bartender. Helped us find Hilda. Bert is cold. Yep. Hell. If it isn't Regina, what'll it be? Information. I'm looking for a blue-haired swordsman. A lad from the western continent. Well, I can't be going around gossiping about the comings and goings of my customers now, can I? That's a quick way to an empty tavern. But I suppose, since you're you, I can make an exception just this once. Thank you. Now I don't have to go around the place asking people for their drinks and orders and whatnot. A lad much like the one you described walked through my door not long ago. Was asking anyone whose ears he could bend about some stolen narwhal or some such he was after. Usually buy someone a drink before interrogating them, but not him. Nobody knew what he was going on about, but he was determined. Asked where else in Ishgard people might gather to flap their lips. So I told him to head to the Jeweled Crozier. Now, if you leave now, I reckon he'll be there. You'll know him when you see him. Trust me. Sounds good. Ooh, said he's wrong. One doggo if you go for Stormblood fights. But it's whatever. The Jeweled Crozier. Well, hot-blooded youth. Those aren't a dime a dozen now, are they? Also, he's wearing blue. Is he a blue mage? Oh. What'd you say to him? Why'd you piss him off? Bunch of useless. By the narwhal's horn, you think manners keep people warm for how desperately these people cling to them. Here I'm trying to rid the city of a thief. Hey there, are you Tentkoa? Yes, it seems you know me, but I don't think I've ever seen you before. I'd remember. My name is Regina. I was sent by Loazinakwe. Loazinakwe sent you. Even across the ocean, she can sense when I'm in trouble. Well, I won't deny a helping hand, especially one with her blessing. Having no luck getting information from these people. Seems there are unwritten rules regarding favors that no one's bothered to tell me. Follow me around. I know those unwritten rules. I know the thief traveled here, but that's where the trail runs cold. Great, because we're in the cold. I thought it'd only be a matter of time until they use the cradle to commit some misdeed or another. But it seems nothing is amiss within or without Ishgard's walls. I have only a description to go on, although it's availed me nothing so far. A woman of a race known in this land as Elizin. She has striking red hair and the eyes the color of rust. A scar dominates her forehead and a mole rests upon her lips. She came to my village posing as a scholar with an interest in the cradle. Although she gave us a name, I know now it was a lie, just like everything else that spewed from her mouth. The bounty of meat, vegetables, and fruit she offered was worth its weight in gold to us. For the cold snap we suffered last year, we couldn't afford to turn her away. Looking back, I realize how brazen her deception was. Although she wore the robes of a scholar, she moved with the poise of a predator. I marked her as a fearsome warrior the moment I laid eyes upon her. Of course, she wouldn't have been able to travel so far north on her own if she was unseasoned. I thought nothing of it at the time. My first misstep of many. That's all I know. Not much, but if you see even the smallest scrap of a clue in there, be a damn sight better than what I currently have. You scholars studying Ishgard without passing through the Agilogicum. She feels even unskilled. She would seek penance at St. Ramanaj Cathedral. There we go. I think that would be the one. But she definitely doesn't seem like a scholar. They all seem villainous, so... A skilled sword would be known among the knights at the congregation. Knights, was it? I suppose what you call these deadly-looking fellows clad in steel. Yes. Maybe onto something there. But where would we find one willing to speak? Follow me? I know, what's his name? The barracks, near the tavern. I know the way. I'll meet you there. Pandaloo. Was that his name again? I think that's what his name was. Watch, we're gonna meet somebody new. Oh. Hey, Firmalbert. I never talked to you. This is it, right? Let's not waste any time, Regina. Why, Mr. Skinta, what brings you to the congregation? I'm here wondering if you know any red-haired Ellison with like a scar on her face. This Passage of the Unbound is not a name I have heard before, but if one of their number has brought an artifact of great power to Ishgard, we'd be ill-advised to suffer their presence. We shall act on this information at once. If there is aught that would threaten the peace, then it is our duty to root it out. Consider the knights of the congregation at your disposal. Thank you for hearing us out, truly. Now, does anything about the description we shared ring a bell? An Ellison woman with red hair and eyes the color of rust. Wait, you said she bore a scar on her forehead, yes? And a mole? No, it could not be. You know who she is? Well, such information is usually privy only to those within our order. Pray understand my hesitation. What? Weren't you listening to anything we told you? She's too dangerous to be left alone. This isn't a time for secrecy. I know I'm a stranger in your city, but I can't stand by while innocent lives might be at risk. If you can't trust Tentoa, then trust me. You are right, of course. The hero who ended the Dragonsong War is not worthy of our trust, then who is? Very well. Master Tentoa, pray accept my apologies. Although you may not be a Ishgardian, your desire to keep its people safe is plain to see. We shall place our trust in you, as Mr. Skinta has. I'm glad we can see eye to eye. Now then, what do you know of this thief? Your description called back some memories. Memories of a knight named Leofine. Merely recalling her story makes me ill at ease, for the mark she left upon our honorable order was pitch as black. Wow. Black as pitch. None know of her whereabouts since she was expelled from the congregation. I thought living with the shame of her deeds would be punishment enough, but if she now consorts with villains that threaten the very foundation of her order, then 'tis clear we can suffer her freedom no longer. I shall inform my superiors of this development, and suggest that the congregation does all in its power to track down Leofine and place her in custody. We learn aught of value. I promise to share it with you at once. Really? That's more than we could have asked. I suppose we ought to consider what to do in the meantime. Care to join me over there, Regina? Over where? Next to the Ethernet? Where would that? I shall inform my superiors at once. Were we not, we shall form a plan that will bring that wicked Leofine to heel. Leofine. Good crown, guy. So we have a name, Leofine. A former knight of Ishgard. That means she knows how to hide herself in the city well. Grasping about at straws won't get us anywhere. My unfamiliarity does little to help our chances. We may have no choice but to wait until the knights discover a lead. Nevertheless, I intend to spend every waking moment learning more about the city and its workings. As for you, I only ask that you'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Till then, be well. Sleepless in Ishgard. Tentoa is eyeing each passing Ishgard with curiosity. There you are, Regina. I've been walking Ishgard's streets whenever I've been able. I've taken to searching for any sleeping people. You see, the land I'm from isn't much warmer than this, and people know not to tempt fate by dozing off in the open air. Even those blind with drink manage to find their way home somehow. I figured the only force powerful enough to overcome that instinct for self-preservation would be the cradle. If we find a sleeper exposed to the elements, we may very well discover Leofine nearby. I can't imagine she brought it all this way just to remain idle. A tedious prospect. But we need to scour every back alley and shadowed walkway before anyone catches something much worse than cold. Mr. Skinta, Master Tentoa, I bring good tidings. The Temple Knights wasted no time distributing handbills across Ishgard containing Leofine's description. These efforts have already borne fruit. We but recently received a report of someone matching her features being sighted. Really? Where? She was sighted near Camp Dragonhead by a patrolling sentry. He described a woman with red hair and a distinct scar on her forehead. The outpost can be reached by passing through the Gates of Judgment and heading east. Once there, speak with Sir Eugenois for the Eugenois for the full report. I knew she'd show herself. Let's hurry, Regina. And off he goes. That's always a good one. Quest accepted. Da 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 da. To the Gates of Judgment. Oh. Oh, we go all the way to Camp Dragonhead. Gotcha. Oops. Hey, we're back in ARR. That's more Dota. Hey, Barring. This must be him. Well, don't dally. I was informed you were on your way. This is concerning the report by one of our sentries, yes? He sighted a woman matching the description in the handbill sent by the congregation. She was heading south along the footpath, but that is all we know. Yes? This is Eugenois. Eugenois? What? Hold fast! I shall send aid at once! What happened? A shipment of supplies was waylaid by monstrous beasts. A contingent of Temple Knights should have been protecting it, but something is amiss. They need our help. We would be in your debt. The shipment was attacked on the road west of the observatorium. I shall muster more knights. Please, go find my men before any lives are lost. The supply shipment was struck on the road west of the observatorium. It will take time to muster enough men for the rescue. Please, leave now and render what aid you can. Can do. Let's go. We got the plane. We'll get there in no time. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. This place is far, man. They should be close, right? I'll search the other side of the river. Regina, you search further down the road. And keep your weapon at the ready. What's going on over there? Someone's having a grand old time. You saved us. We were almost... Harold Prox? You won't be feasting today! Not a moment too soon. The wide-eye watches eternal, and eternal is the sleep it bestows. We're too late. No, they're not. Just look. They're asleep is all. Good. Good. Our trusty chocobo suddenly became unsure on their feet, and the wagon toppled to the side of the road. There was nothing for it but to fix the damage on the spot. Temple Knights went to secure the area, but before I knew it, each and every one of them had fallen asleep where they were standing. And the beast attacked. It was just me before those snarling fangs. Time to wake up. Sleep any longer and the cold will have you. I just need to hear like a sharp... That's right. What happened? We fell asleep, but we were patrolling. He must be mistaken. A Temple Knight would never shirk his duty so. Are you calling me a liar? I saw you fall over on your ass with my own eyes. But not for Sir Eugenois' quick response and the bravery of these warriors. We would all be food for the vultures by now. The congregation will hear of this dereliction of duty, you can be sure. Now, hold on just a moment. They aren't the ones to blame. A sacred relic of my people was stolen and... Now isn't the time. Sorry, forget I said anything. Whatever dizziness overtook the chocobo seemed to have passed. I'll resume my journey once the carriage is repaired, assuming my guards are quite refreshed. I believe we can make it on our own. Please return to Camp Dragonhead and warm yourselves. It is no coincidence the giant birds and the two guards took leave of their senses around the same time. This is the work of the cradle. But if Leofine was here, she's no longer here. No, she is no longer. Let us return to the city and consider our next steps. That's good. You said the knights from Camp Dragonhead are on their way, yes? And I believe we shall have ample protection for the remainder of our journey. Back to Ishgard. Oh yeah, hopefully if we talk to Firmalbert, it's like, he'll at least be nicer. Give him a pass for falling asleep on duty. Leofine might have escaped us, but the witness's report has given us a clue to follow. Thank the Narwhal for guiding us swiftly to the Knights. We have received the report of the incident near Camp Dragonhead. 2 of our own sleeping on duty. Quite a fury. Had you reached them even a moment later, this day would have been much darker. Although it pains me to say it, those 2 shall be punished as befits the magnitude of their negligence. If I may, I don't believe the blame rests entirely on their shoulders. The cradle of the sleepless was used against them, I'm certain. Yes. You said it possessed the power to lull others into a deep sleep. I admit that would explain these exceptional circumstances. Regardless, they were still bested by their enemy. The charge was almost killed as a result. Punishment is the only recourse. I see. A harsh stance, maybe, but I can respect that you don't treat your duty lightly. Well, if you learn anything else of Leofine's plots, please let us know at once. Even though we didn't find her, I'm glad we were able to save those soldiers. Thank you for coming to us. Nay, 'tis the Temple Knights who owe you thanks. We shall continue our search. Rest assured, you shall be the first to know of any developments. Regina, there's more I would tell you about the cradle. Things I should have told you sooner. Join me over there and I'll do my best to fix that mistake. We now know what our enemy is capable of, and we must plan accordingly. Rest assured, we shall not rest until Leofine is in shackles. Alright, Tantoa. What you gotta say? Now you see with your own eyes what I've only been able to describe. The narwhal's lullaby can put even hardened warriors into a restful slumber. They may as well be defenseless as a newborn babe. But even with such power, my people have never used it to attack our enemies. Its sole purpose has always been to keep a single person awake, an eternal guardian, who would never sleep, never rest. The Wide Eye. Me. For 10 years I've been awake, training day and night to gain the strength I have now. The strength to shield my people. Really? Of course, another must receive the weirdness I cast aside. Shut Eye. You've met her, in fact. Pleasant way. As I've been awake these 10 years, she spent the better part of her days in a deep slumber. Brief periods of wakefulness are spent exercising and eating so her body doesn't waste away. So we've barely spoken, despite how much I depend on her. When we were young, we'd spend our days exploring the mountain paths. That time is long past. Telling you all this now, I realize how very little of my life has been dedicated to my own pursuits. Wasnikwe and I have both been devoted ourselves entirely to the protection of our village. How did Leofine steal an artifact from such an accomplished warrior? Well, about that. No, I've no excuse. It was my fault it was stolen, and I'll bear that burden. The Protector must take responsibility for his charges. But we don't have the luxury to dwell on regrets. I see now that, although my people never use the cradle for ill, wicked hearts can twist anything toward evil. That's something I can't tolerate. The very thought that this might happen again makes the bile churn in my gullet. We must bring Leofine's scheme to an end. I mean, that's cute. You might have a thing for Loaznikwe, but guess what? I'm here for a job, and that is to get the cradle back. Between sleep and death. Toa has a worried expression on his face. Just the person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask your advice on a certain matter, if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Loaznikwe. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her. We're still completely in the dark. I don't want her to worry. I don't know what to tell her. Whatever you write, don't make her wait too long. Tell her you're in good spirits. That'll suffice. You might be right. Silence may make her think that something terrible has happened. Alright, I'll start right away. I may not have much time left. What do you mean? Oh, don't misunderstand. It's not so grave as that. It's just the last time I used a cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily, I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but it won't be long until I must dream like any other. That will give Leofine free rein while I'm helpless in bed. There's no quarry more dangerous than one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. Mr. Skinta, Master Tantoa, we have received reports that several groups of Temple Knights have fallen afoul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several? Let me guess. They were all guarding someone else. Whoops! You would be correct. It is the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. We fail at even that most basic function, then our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in these most recent attacks were left in quite compromising positions. Lammergeyer? What? How did you do that? Yet the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilt we would bear if any innocent came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we'd rather not see these incidents repeat. Still, But the Temple Knights must work to repair their reputation in the days ahead. It is a far cry from bringing Ishgard crumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the methods of this passage of the Unbound leave me mystified. But Leofine was cunning, if nothing else. Till we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. Then perhaps she gets her jollies by seeing people get humiliated. Many among the knights have suggested the same. Leofine may be part of this esoteric order, but she has ever been one to put her own interests first and foremost. The cradle is a tool of peace, yet Leofine uses it for childish pranks. She makes a mockery of its sacred power. We have to get it out of our clutches. To do that, start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why has she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? I have pondered the same. Posted at Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Forton. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leofine doubtless knows their habits and training. Perhaps it makes it easier for her to exploit their weaknesses. Then, if we follow the knights, we may pick up her trail. Not ideal, but it's the best we have to go on. Well, a large contingent of knights has but recently been dispatched to Kurthis. You remember Gragne Mills, yes? It has lain abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols of its premises with other contingents. Excuse me. If you speak with Sir Redwald at Falcon's Nest, I'm certain he would be glad to have you along. Wow. I cannot make that same sound. I talk fucking forever. The Falcon's Nest. Can't wait to meet Sir Redwald again. Man, this is already better than the healer quest line. Shit. I didn't meet nobody I recognized in the healer quest line. I was really surprised to meet Captain Malala during that shit. That would be like the only person I would consider I would want to meet again during that. The one from the Rogues quest. Or any of the Rogues for that matter. Nah, we just have like two no-name fucking adventures. Shit, there's a blizzard out here. Okay, I got big firebird. Yeah. Is that Mr. Skinta I see? Of course, you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest. Yet I believe I do not know your companion here. This is Tentoa. Indeed. Whispers of the Temple Knight's humiliations have reached us even here. Falling asleep while on duty. I dare not believe the stories, but it seems there was truth in them after all. They fell asleep true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy wielding a powerful artifact. Now the rumors fail to mention anything like that. We can lull even trained warriors to sleep, then we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, another is always at the ready to take their place. As long as this artifact cannot put an entire regiment under its spell, I believe we are well positioned to combat it. Combat it? Oops. Interesting. The idea of your allies falling in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where I hail from, a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village. Make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle. We mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword just as fierce will take their place. To know that an ally is at your back would allow you to fight with abandon. Now, you believe this Leofine might take interest in our activities at Gragne Mills, yes? The party has already left, accompanied by a group of Temple Knights. If your suspicions are correct, then they are at risk. I would ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure they have not fallen victim to foul play. The mills can be found to the north, just across the Black Iron Bridge. The party should be arriving there soon, conditions permitting. You have to reach them before Leofine does. Then reach them we shall. Oh, wait. I can only hope that all is well. Having you there would do much to set my heart at ease. Away I go. Aboard the Gobwalker. Ooh, we go all the way to Garagne Holdings. Okay. And now we wait 5 whole minutes yet again. I love this place. This place is fucking huge. Damn. Just being back here, man. Oh dear. This isn't good. Too late. They're fast asleep. But Redwald gave the impression there were more. These knights must have been lookouts. We should awaken them, but keep your eyes peeled for Leofine. I'll rouse these ones. Regina, you search that building yonder. Who the hell's it you? How'd you get past the guards? Damn. Thank you, Frey. You? Thank the Fury you arrived when you did. The slugs struck when our backs were turned. I assumed the Temple Knights were protecting the entry, so I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. They killed. No, they're just asleep. Sleeping? For the stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whomever's behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds and then finish our inspection here. Mistress Genta, I ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. Okay. Unbound brawlers. Who? Why are they following Leofine? Ah, as I thought. Just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face among these slumbering knights. I simply had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself. Hand over the cradle now, and I won't kill you. Ah! What do they call you again? The Wide Eye? You must have had quite the journey to have come this far. Careful, Regina. This is our quarry. The thief who stole the cradle of the sleepless. This is Leofine. That is your ally? More muscle than brains. Yet even they may seek your artifact for themselves. It matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think for a moment. Is the cause you fight for worth the sacrifice? So few of us know true freedom. If there is aught you would grasp with your own hands, do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The codes and rules that would bind men are mere illusions. Open your eyes, truly open them, and you shall see a path all your own. Only a fool would waste their life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense! Nonsense? Perhaps. I am here because of another, after all. Apyahi, who came to me at the height of my debauchery and welcomed me into her devious brotherhood. She guided me to greater power, yes. And now I lead others upon the unbound path. Yet, truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. To tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, nurture the world into... well, what does it matter? Yet I do derive great pleasure in shaming the Temple Knights, seeing the snickers and jeers deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. This artifact can hasten their fall from grace. I believe I shall keep it. I know the path I walk, the one that leads to your downfall! And I won't abandon it. I'll take the cradle back. And then I'll... oh. That was easy enough. Oh dear. You seem to have lost your train of thought. I know you cannot hear, but if you want your artifact back, I might suggest stealing it from you. I might suggest stealing it from you while I'm asleep. But considering the burden I have just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Why, I feel absolutely transcendent. To think the shackles of fatigue weigh so heavily. Alas, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter, I have learned more than enough to take my next step. See to it this lot is disposed of. 'Tis the least you can do for the freedom I have given you. That's some shit. Whoops, that's one. That's one. Yeah. Hey, Zatoa, wake the fuck up. Wake up time. Try as you might to rouse Tentoa, he seems completely detached from the waking world. Fuck. Kick him in the balls. That'll wake him up. Try talking to comatose body. It looks like you've saved us twice today. Thank you. But what of him? Fast asleep, just as we were. This be what Sir Firmalbert warned us of in his report. Yep, certainly was. I see. And those stories are more than just wicked rumors. Suppose there is some small comfort in the fact that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leofine's arrogant voice. She would not scruple to attack former comrades in arms. She has fallen farther than I had dared imagine. If we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, in so doing put innocent lives in danger. A black mark on our order. 'Twas only thanks to you and your companions' efforts that the snow was not stained red this day. At the very least, allow us to carry him to the congregation. Our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Regina, pray return to Ishgard and look after your friend. I mean, I stained the snow red. I killed all of her brawlers. All of her lackeys. Back to Ishgard. Hey, Firmalbert. Oh, glad am I to see you well, Mr. Skenta. Understand you come... Oh, no. Excuse me. You come fresh from an encounter with none other than Leofine. Master Tentoa now rests on the second floor. To stand vigil by his side every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have to wait. We should not have long to wait. If you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. Leisure. What the hell did I say? There's another matter to discuss. Just before your departure to Garagne Mills, it seems there was another incident. A group of criminals were released from their cells. The guards found in a deep sleep. Doubtless Leofine was behind this. And doubtless the ruffians you clash with were these self-same criminals. Leofine is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knights to her side, and using this animosity to her advantage. We now know for certain that Leofine is the mastermind of these attacks, that her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knights, our honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, 'twas decided that none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations of the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distress. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of the Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. For Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leofine before she tears our reputation to tatters. While Master Tentoa slumbers, it falls to us to search for clues that might point towards her whereabouts. Beacon in the darkness. Firmalbert's eyes light up when he sees you. Leofine remains as elusive as ever. She is in league with Ishgard's more unsavory elements. She could be hidden anywhere. We have only her cryptic statements to guide us. It seems that whatever her plan is, her actions thus far have been but a prelude to its climax. Oof. Oh crap. We can but hope that Tentoa awakens before she emerges again. Regina, there you are. Lasnik way? Yep. Figured as such. I'm so glad I found you. I was starting to think I was in the wrong city, but the narwhal guided me true. Oh, you must be the maiden Tentoa mentioned. You hail from the same village, yes? I am Firmalbert, of the Temple Knights. 'Tis an honor to meet you. Tentoa wrote about you in his letters. I am Lasnik way, and the honor is all mine. Is Tentoa with you? I haven't received a letter from him for some time, so I came here to check on him myself. He's actually been put to sleep by the Cradle of the Sleepless. Oh. You insufferable fool! What have I always told you about rushing ahead without thinking? Now you even have the gall to be sleeping when I arrive. You promised you'd write me. What was I supposed to do when the letter stopped coming? I was so worried. At least I can take small comfort that he appears otherwise unharmed. I take it you're to thank for that, Regina. Ooh. Let's go with character development. He told me that you were the Shut-Eye. Yes, that's right. For 10 years I bore his fatigue. As a result, my body is more fragile than most. But since arriving in Tuliyollal, my life has become normal. As I've walked the city streets and eaten my fill of its food, I felt my strength grow. I can even stay awake for a full day now. Do you know why Tentoa sleeps so soundly? Reports of other incidents indicated that those affected awoke in a matter of moments. Yet, Tentoa shows no signs of stirring. That... I'm sorry, I can't say for certain. But I do know the stories of those who came before me. More than one shut-eye has fallen into a sleep much like this. One so absolute that they become deaf to the outside world. With no means to sustain their bodies, they would waste away if left alone. So, our people found a mixture of herbs and other materials that help usher the shut-eye back to the waking world. What could possibly be strong enough to bring someone back from this? We call it spring dew, and the secrets of its making are passed down through generations. Each drop acts as a ray of sunshine in the darkness of sleep, a beacon for the dreamer to follow. I carry some of the ingredients on my person, but others must be gathered fresh. It won't be an easy task, but I'm certain it will save Tentoa. I don't know their Eorzean name, but one of the flowers blooms a striking yellow and grows only where mountain peaks soar above the clouds. Being so close to the heavens, it drinks in the sunlight. Its petals cleanse the body and promote wakefulness. The churning mist blooms a yellow flower called the dandelion. No other place in Eorzea can one be closer to touching the sun. Good. Next, we'll need a saliva of a beast we call morbles. The thicker it is, the better. The pungent odor could wake the dead. Ah, I know them well. Morbles are not an uncommon sight in the Dravanian hinterlands. Mature specimen should possess saliva with the desired effect. Jesus, oh my god, I can't read for shit. The prospect of gathering it, however, is an unenviable task. Once we have those two ingredients, mixing them with the rest should be a simple matter. Do you think you could procure them, Regina? I've fought with my fair share of morbles, it's fine. Your confidence is reassuring. Since the morble saliva must be the fresher of the two, I ask that you climb into the heavens and pick dandelions for Tentoa. I'll make some dandelion tea with fucking... the smell of, like... I'm gonna guess, like, their bad breath is just, like, rotting plant matter. Holy shit, where the hell am I? Oh, this legitimately is second floor. Okay, I know where I am now. This is how Tentoa looked upon me for so long. Quite as unsettling, I think. Please, Regina, come back soon. I want to hear his voice. To the churning mists! Gather sun-drenched dandelions at the 4 arms. Okay, I can do that. Hello, losers. I am in the shoe. Gotta find a couple of dandelions. Be too hard. Well, to be fair, looking around this place, I'd be surprised if I could even find one. Alright, well. Fucking weeds are rolling here. Why am I grabbing the small ones? Grab the big ones. There's just like a big one right there. Just grab it. It'd be easy. Sun-drenched dandelions shine in almost golden yellow. Now for a much more gruesome task. Venture to the Dravanian hinterlands and collect saliva from the mouth of a full-grown morble. Alright, Barring, I see how it is. You leave me high and dry because now I gotta go fight morbles? Chocobos. What can I say? I always gotta like the healer look when it's just like you're in pure white. Why, hello there. Look out, Frey. There's bad breath there. Thank you, Frey. Alright. Let's get out of here, Frey. See, at least you can count on Frey to be there for you when you need him. The hell am I? Thermalbert! Guess what? Judging from that lingering odor, I take it you have the materials. I doubt anyone can sleep through such a potent mixture, but we shall soon see. Hey, Andalou. Thank you for letting us use your second floor. See, at least I'm talking with Thermalbert and, like, a couple of other characters that you might have seen around the place. They're actually, like, making use of characters that you have seen rather than kind of, like, making up two adventures out of nowhere. I'm ready to start mixing the ingredients at once. That is, of course, assuming you brought them with you. Found blooming among the floating isles above Eorzea, the petals of this dandelion grow almost as brilliantly as the sun which nourishes them. And of course, the great putrid marble saliva. So pungent that not a sealed vial can contain its scent completely. A single whiff of this saliva can wrench even the deepest sleeper back into the waking world. Here you go. These are difficult to acquire at the best of times, so I thank you for gathering them so quickly. I shall get started immediately. Done all we can. Now we wait for Tentoa to open his eyes. Huh? Where am I? I hoped you enjoyed sleeping the days away, Tentoa. And I'm glad you're finally awake. Lawaznikwe, what are you doing here? Listen, I didn't ask her to come, but you stopped writing her for like 2 hours and she became worried. I see, so Leofine wielded the cradle against me. While I was tucked soundly in bed, Lawaznikwe came all this way. Curse my witness, just when we had her. Just when I was needed the most, I failed! For 10 years I endured countless trials, and when the time came, couldn't even swing my damn weapon. It's not your fault, Tentoa. If anyone's to blame for what's happened, it's me. No, I won't hear it. Yeah, tell me what happened. As you may know, Leofine won our trust by posing as a scholar traveling the width and breadth of Tyrol. She expressed great interest in the cradle and our customs, and I was so excited to meet an outsider that I answered her every question. I told her that the Wide-Eye keeps the cradle with them at all times, and then she hatched her plan. She took me hostage to draw out Tentoa. While Lawaznikwe was sleeping, Leofine snuck into her chamber and held a blade to her throat. I had no choice but to give her what she wanted. Cradle of the Sleepless. But Lawaznikwe's life before the future of our people. At that moment I became unfit to be their guardian. Lawaznikwe is one of your people. Protecting her is your duty. Thank you, Regina. You know just what to say. It's the only way to see a future where none of my people come to harm. Especially Lawaznikwe. Even without the cradle, you're still our guardian. My guardian. We'll find a way through this together. Good. Seeing you in such high spirits lifts my own. Oh, and before I forget, you trounced Leofine's thugs while I was dreaming in the snow, didn't you? I owe you a debt I won't soon forget. And I'd wager that debt will grow larger before we pry the treasure from Leofine's clutches. But whatever it takes, I won't stop until she's answered for her crimes. Well, that was nice. I'm embarrassed to admit that was the first time I've ever created a mixture. I'm glad it worked as intended. You know, while I was sleeping, I dreamed. I saw Lawaznikwe and I as children. Nothing particularly interesting happened. We just whiled the days away. Not a care in the world. I'd forgotten what it was like to dream. It was pleasant. I can remember wanting to stay there, to never open my eyes again. Of course, the moment I gave form to that thought, I opened them, and Lawaznikwe was there. Even if we get the cradle back, things return to the way they were. You go back to spending your life in dreams. I suppose so. My duty as a Shut-Eye, after all. Duty. It was your duty, too, that compelled you to come all the way here to Ishgard. But no more. What are you saying? I tried so hard to convince myself that you were spending so much time asleep. Oh, my bad. I tried so hard to convince myself that you were glad spending so much time asleep. Being on the other side made me realize. Lying to myself all along. I don't want to return to a life where you and I are bound together, but always so far apart. I want to go back to those happy days when we were by each other's sides. Guess what I'm saying is, if there's a different path for us, I want to find it. And I want to walk it with you. Okay. Not yet. First, we reclaim the cradle. When we have, we'll take our first step towards that new future. I promise. I must confess, I haven't felt the same since I woke up. I know I was in that bed for a while, but instead of feeling refreshed, my body feels weaker somehow. Almost as if my very strength was sapped when the treasure was turned on me. I can't even grip my weapon properly. Ooh, that's rough. Leofine did remark that she felt invigorated. Then, does that mean the cradle has powers we don't know about? Not exactly. It may just mean the cradle works differently than we thought. Its wielder might not pass on their fatigue. Rather, they absorb another's vigor. The end effect would be the same. The cradle's wielder can go on without sleep, and its victim loses the strength to even keep their eyes open. You never took more than you needed, so my slumber was always light enough to waken from. But if the treasure was used without restraint... We've had this realization. It won't be long before Leofine does, too. And then it'll be too late. We have to root her out. But I mustn't rush ahead blindly. As Lawaznikwe never tires of telling me, I feel nearly weak as a child right now. Must spend what precious time we have training to regain what strength Leofine stole from me. You have my word I won't rest until I'm in top form again. I suggest that you do the same, if for no other reason than to give me some stiff competition. Okay. I don't have enough ingredients to make spring dew again. We'll have to deal with Leofine before the cradle's power returns. Awakened, not stirred. Ooh, and food. I get Paza. Aqua Paza. Tentoa appears healthier, but there's still a hint of weariness in his expression. Hey, how you feeling? You're looking strong, Regina. Well, I'm not my old self yet. I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there's much work to be done. I need to be even better than I was before if we're to have any hope of catching Leofine. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. You know they aim to topple nations around the world. This is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't her Misties and Ishgard extended any farther than the Temple Knights? We pondered that same question. Our best guess was that, as a former Temple Knight herself, she chose them because she knows how to exploit their weaknesses. She's using her knowledge as a weapon. We need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. Good plan. I admit I have no idea where to start. Should we ask for Mulbert? I already have. He said that while he never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them even now patrol the city. Mulbert was a great help in telling me where they might be. You've been busy, Loaznikwe. Well, I can't remember the last time I was awake this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. We're all better for it. Since you've gathered the information, it's only fitting I to do the legwork. Just tell me where these knights are, and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city for both of us, right? Although Firmalbert told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. Luckily, we have Regina to guide you. You'll go with Tetoa, won't you? Sure. I knew I could count on you. All right, take note of these locations. Many Temple Knights are there? That not even Firmalbert would know all of them. Barely imagine. That's a whole army. Being forced to work with someone like Leofine isn't a fate I would envy. Curious to hear what these knights would have to say about her. Hopefully they provide insight that'll guide us forward. Time is of the essence, Regina. Let's get moving. Yep, Tentoa is now accompanying you. This whole city is the charge of the Temple Knights, isn't it? There's no way a single warrior could defend it. I don't doubt their honor as a whole. It's inevitable that a rotten seed like Leofine would eventually find its way into the ranks. Till recently, I always believed a remote corner of Shok Taral was the safest place in this world. Danger could find us even there. I'm not sure what to think anymore. Let's go! We have to go to Congregation of Knights Most Heavenly, Aetherite Plaza, and St. Renard Forum. Remenard's Forum, something like that. Hey, Firmalbert. Tentoa. Many know of Leofine's wicked deeds, but few knew her personally. With any luck, those who served alongside her shall be able to shed light on her past. But there's no one here. I go up the stairs then. Hopefully they're up there. If not, well, we're boned. Yep, there they are. Courteous Temple Knight. Now this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? Do you know anything about Leofine? Do you want to know more about Leofine? Well, many Temple Knights come from the common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Leofine was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and the responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless she yearned for freedom all her life. Or her idea of it, anyways. Although her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped of her title, she may have actually desired that outcome. She hated it so much here, all she had to do was leave. I hear she did leave. For a time, at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. Selfish heart like Leofine was sought out to aid in this plot. I shudder to imagine how wicked the leader must be. Wee. Durr. Okay. You see anything new? Nope. Alright, where else are we going? Aetherite Plaza. St. Ramanod's, what's it called? Forum. I don't even know where I slept. You guessed. I was close enough to the Aether Closet. A Kenai Temple Knight. Do you require aid? Must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Do you know anything about Leofine? Leofine? I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? A few were her equal in swordplay, and few still handled their mounts with such grace. She oft spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was just after such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate. Dragons attacked her charges as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided our ancestral foe, and thus was stripped of her knighthood and noble title both. Knights falling asleep on duty. A story that's become all too familiar. Given what happened, I have no doubt she came to fear sleep. Yet now she has conquered that weakness. She wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond the reach of mortal danger. She's only deluding herself. In time she'll be made to answer for her deeds. Damn straight. I like that guy. She'll get what's coming to her, that's what he said. Ark the Humble. Saint Raynette, that's it. Saint Raynette. Discuss the statue of Saint Raynette. I've heard that the people of Ishgard revere a warrior god. But here's a statue of a flesh and blood knight. I've never seen such a thing. My people make no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that such objects would keep them from finding their way to the next world. The only idol we keep is the Cradle of the Sleepless. Thanks to its blessings, the Wide Eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to the Narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. All is quiet. Even so, I must remain vigilant. Do you know anything about Leofine? Leofine, eh? A name spoken in hushed whispers now, but many have forgotten her strategic genius. She had a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius? We were just too dense to see how our actions would cause Ishgard to collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, an assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks, bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Okzundu in the Sea of Clouds. If anything were to go wrong, it'd be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Andalou has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. Well, we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. Stories that paint a picture of a rotten, conniving soul. It must have been hard on the Lord Commander. It must have been hard on the Lord Commander. Lord Commander? Take it that this is the leader of these Temple Knights. While fancy titles hold little interest for me, I sympathize with anyone who had to give orders to a rotten apple like Leofine. Giving the Temple Knights a warning is the least we can do. Clear that this delegation, was it, might prove an enticing target for Leofine. Finally, we have knowledge to use against our enemy. If we all work together, we might be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell the Sandaloo what we know. Thank you, sir. The wheels are in motion, and doubtless Sir Handaloo would welcome news of potential threats before they catch us unawares. I believe he is yet planning the details of the visit at the congregation. Sounds legit. I wonder if one day all this is going to be fixed. I'll actually restore, like, Ishgard proper. That'd be so cool. The Andalou. You are ever welcome at the congregation, Regina. I am well apprised of Leofine's wicked deeds, and your efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. And this must be Master Tentoa, who crossed the ocean from Tyrol. I hope you have recovered from your ordeal. Better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights yet owe you a debt for all you have done. Which brings us to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me. Yeah. I hear there's a delegation that's going to be heading to Okzundu. Ah, I see you and I had the same doubts. The delegation to Okzundu would be an obvious target for Leofine. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. As such, it is only meet that we maintain and strengthen friendly relations with our neighbors. The delegation in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our unique cultures. Sonu Vanu, chief of the Zundu, was most eager to host. Yet so long as the specter of Leofine hangs over our order, your visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, relations could be damaged irreparably. As we have no way of knowing if Leofine has caught wind of our plans, I am of the mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent course of action, for the safety of all. This could also be the perfect chance to draw her out. That's right. Regina and I won't let anyone come to harm. As long as you warn the Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue against you. If they're truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please, send a delegation as planned. Be our best chance to capture Leofine. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for the sage counsel. You are right. The Zundu would not stand idly by while we suffer at Leofine's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our two peoples was forged when the god assailed their home and was brought low by a great hero, Regina. Oh, I could do that too. Yeah, there you go. We tell the Zundu that she is keeping watch over the proceedings, and I am certain all doubt shall be quelled. Then you'll proceed. Indeed. The time has come for we Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on the counteroffensive. I shall bring the suggestion of a joint operation against Leofine to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together, put a stop to her scheme. I first must discuss matters with the others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Though time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our course is settled. I shall summon all involved in planning the delegation to the congregation at once. Pray, wait while we discuss matters and reach a final decision. Declusion is what I was about to say. Holy shit. Where is my mind going when I say these words? I am busted. Tintoa told me what you learned in Leofine. To be honest, I do empathize with what her desire to be free from the bonds of sleep. Excuse me. Let me try that again. To be honest, I do empathize somewhat with her desire to be free from the bonds of sleep, but that's where my sympathy ends. It's exactly because we must sleep that every waking moment is precious. A life awake is meaningless if we can't spend it with those we care about. Oh, okay. I realize now that I agree to defend a people I know next to nothing about. Tell me if these Zundu will soon be visiting. They look large. They look like large, fluffy birds. They're like the Hanu Hanu, with even more of a penchant for metaphor. They're like the Hanu Hanu, with an even larger penchant for metaphor. Really? Two groups of such people so far apart? The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Every day I hear something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragonsong War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled fellowship? I imagine a whole world like that. A world where there'd be no need for protectors. The wide eye watches not only the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbors as well. We've barely even considered sending delegations outside our village gates. Cold Snap only made things worse. Everyone's struggling just to survive. Our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. If we only look outward with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change. No hope to build trust. If only there was a way to bridge the distance between us. Create tomorrow hand in hand. But maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, It's a beautiful thought. Oh, she giggled at him. Glad you think so. I'll hold that future in mind as I get back to training. As for you, Regina, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you most, I'll wake you up with a knock to the head. Okay? Awaken, not stirred. That was all planned, by the way. I've been holding on to that amount of XP just for this. Doa's finally acting like his old self again. Now I'm sure we're ready for whatever lies ahead. Dreams of a new day. Doa is eager to set a trap for Leofine. I'm gonna get some. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some water. Excuse me. So Handaloo hasn't said a word. I guess the others might not be so enthusiastic about our plan. To them, the Cradle of the Sleepless is naturally still something to be feared. No matter how much faith they have in your strength, you'd be at Leofine's mercy if she puts you to sleep. Honestly, I don't blame them. Not even I imagined our treasure could be used for such evil. In Leofine's hands, it's no more than an indiscriminate weapon. That means we get it back. We could turn it into something else. Some things no one ever thought of before. You'd find a way to use it without forcing someone to spend their life in slumber. Of course I agree with you, Tentoa, but we have more pressing matters. Namely, a rogue knight to capture and a treasure to recover. Right. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Oh yeah. Apologies for keeping you waiting so long. Temple Knights have finally reached a decision concerning the delegation to the Sea of Clouds. What have you decided? I'm pleased to say that the Zundu have agreed to join forces with us. Together we shall drive back Leofine should she attack. First shadow darkens even in Ilm of their homeland. Our peaceful delegation shall turn into a fighting force at a moment's notice. We shall restore the Temple Knight's reputation and recover your artifacts in one fell swoop. Thank you, Handaloo. We promise we'll do our part if Leofine shows herself. She won't get away this time. We are but to hammer out the final details. Once we are ready to depart, the first group of knights shall leave by airship. I would ask you both to make your way to Okzundu as soon as possible, so you may help plan our strategy. I'm coming too. I can heal your wounds, and if it comes to it, my staff can bruise as well as a club. What staff? I'll gladly have you with us. Done taking on the world alone. I need you, Loaznikwe. And Regina, too. We're stronger together than we could ever be apart. It would never be stolen if I'd realized that from the beginning. I want you by my side to ensure I don't forget it. Well then, we better be off. I'm keen to meet this Chief Sonu Vanu. Go to Okzundu. Zundu? This questline has been pretty snooze fest right now. I don't know. What have y'all thought so far? Because I don't really think this one sounds that great. I think it's okay, but it's like, meh. Hello, Chief Sonu Vanu. Honored Netherling, your return to Okzundu is as welcome as the arrival of spring. Sonu knows why you come. Wicked hearts seek to bring chaos to our home. And so the Zundu shall rise to its defensive needed. As the sun's rays chase away the shadows of night,
The sun drop dance shall keep the tendrils asleep at bay.
Chief Sonuvanu, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Tentoa. The sun drop dance is as invigorating as you say. I'd love to see it for myself.
The Zondu shall dance before Ishgard's warriors upon their arrival. Brave Tentoa is welcome to join the proceedings.
That was your original intent, right? I see. Or to draw Leofine out, it makes sense to pretend like nothing is amiss.
Zondu warriors unified their strength through the sun drop dance, and the sight is so fearsome that many choose to flee rather than fight. Netherling warriors may learn much from such an approach. Breaking the enemy spirit avoids needless bloodshed. Yet all dancers must hone their skills before wild animals first. The sun drop dance does not fail them at the most crucial moment. It's for that reason our dancers await at the outskirts of Okuzundu for the Netherlings' arrival. When the performance begins, it shall draw the attention of all like roiling cloud over the horizon. Watch carefully for any who would take advantage of that moment. After the dance is finished, Netherlings will present Zundu with... Chief Sonu! Netherling's ship appears in the skies like sudden sun shower, hurtling toward Earth! Swiftly it descends, crashing down near Zundu dancers. Ship's markings are Ishgardian. Zundu are unhurt, but wounded Netherlings pour from vessel.
A lightning bolt from the sky, and Leofine strikes. The Temple Knights were coming by airship, right? All Leofine had to do was lull the pilot to sleep. She saw right through us. Now we're on the back foot.
Great winds can alter even a raging river's course. What matters is to stand strong and move forward. And now, we must offer aid to the Netherlings who come as guests. Right. Let's go.
Hell yeah, duty time. We're fortunate that Leofine chose the outskirts of the settlement to enact her horrible plan. Imagine if the ship crashed over Okzuntu, or even Ishgard.
This is the work of the Cradle. Leofine can't be far. Must tend to the wounded. I won't let her escape again. This ends today, one way or the other. Duty calls. Commence battle for dreams of a new day. Let's go.
Griffin.
There you are. Leofine!
Came all this way just to greet me. Oh, I am honored. I only hope my gift was satisfactory. 'Tis a shame you will not see Ishgard crumble. Alas, I can scarcely suffer rats to scurry about my feet, threatening to gnaw away at my carefully laid plans. At least you bear witness to the dying breath of the Temple Knight's flagging honor. We would sooner see that wrecked airship soar again than their reputation return to its former glory. Yet even I did not foresee that the Zundu would be in the ship's path. The fury favors me. For who now would trust a nation so careless as to put their neighbors at risk? Everyone knows you're behind this. People won't turn on each other so easily. Oh, I didn't see you there. The Shut-Eye, wide awake. Doubly honored I am that you came all this way just to meet your end. Enough! We're taking the cradle back. We won't let your evil continue any longer. Such bold words. If I recall correctly, your people reaped great benefits from this artifact's powers. All at the cost of someone's waking life. Your life. Pray do not misunderstand me. That was not meant to be a denouncement of your people. On the contrary, they have my utmost respect. We are bound by our very nature. No matter how mighty we become, we are slaves to the whims of sleep. Yet this artifact consider those shackles and grant true freedom. Makes its wielder stronger, and their enemies weak. Perfect weapon, if you ask me.
Can't say whether using the cradle is right or wrong. I only know that a life lived at the cost of another is no life at all. You're right about one thing. We are bound by our nature. That doesn't shackle us. It brings us together. Whether I'm asleep or awake, as long as Lowosnik ways by my side, it's a life I want.
Show her no quarter. I'll be your shield.
She's exhausted the cradle's power in the Temple Knights. This is our chance.
No plan is without its wrinkles, I suppose. Fortunately, I prepare for all contingencies.
Unbound, Leofine, the unchivalrous.
You had an opportunity to live a quiet life, but I will not give it again. This time, I shall send you into a slumber from which you will never wake. Protect the Temple Knights.
Give back the cradle, or we'll take it back!
I'll bluster as usual. Take it if you dare.
Protect the Netherling warriors! Zundu, with them by our side, Leofine won't stand a chance! Zundu will defend Netherling friends. Now, wash away darkness of sleep with Sundrop Dance!
Just stand there, kill them!
Gina, defend our allies over there. I'll take the other side.
Yeah! We'll bury you!
Witness the Sundrop Dance. Netherling warriors, awaken! Zundu's fearsome dancing gives rise to a swell of ether.
Why the? What happened? We were attacked? Everyone's awake!
Mighty Zundu protect Netherling warriors. Keep cautious like Galakat under stormy skies. Now you're all alone. This ends now, Leofine.
Why am I cursed with incompetence? Very well. Dance with me, wide-eye. The strength granted to me. Your strength. Now, I shall be undone.
The artifact, this is for such callous hands.
The Narwhal's blessing is only for those with the heart of a defender.
Etheric burst. We need to split up. You take that side. My conviction.
both. Healing is on the way.
Etheric burst.
Oh god. The effect swells with power. It begs to be released. Now you shut your eyes for the final time. Take a last glimpse of the waking world.
Phase 2.
Brace yourself against the power of the artifact. I'll protect you until my last breath. Wide-eyed. Take cover behind Tantoa. None can resist my power. Gah! I'm alright. What about Tantoa?
Oh, he's out.
You think this piece of wood is for protection? Such a clawing sentiment. Cursed insects. You lot, finish them off. Earn your freedom.
Sun Drop Dance shall rouse Netherling Warrior. Protect the sleeper until he awakens.
Time for us to protect Tantoa. We'll get through this together.
Oh shit, hello, what is this?
Don't think so. Oh, why thank you. I got a Terali here too. On your feet, Tantoa. It's your duty as the Wide Eye.
What? I was asleep? I owe you all my life. Thank you. Zundu, go to help allies. May Zephyr winds guide you to victory.
No. Sleep is inexorable. How are they doing this? Far from finished. You will not withstand this! Sleep now, for good.
Others just tool sleep. Is that your idea of freedom? Bloody true.
I know it, dark-minded. A burial ray. Enough of your insolence!
Ha! Nice work. Etheric burst. Duty complete.
Stubborn. You may have won today, but this is not over.
Yes, it is.
Ah, Regina! Damned fool.
Now!
He dropped it. No! This is mine now.
Say goodnight, Leofine.
Holy what?
The wide eye watches eternal, and eternal is the sleep it bestows.
She just falls over the edge. We finally stopped her.
Yes, but we have someone else to worry about.
I can shadow stride up to her then faster than she can react. There's so many questions I have about, like, why? They all have gap closures at this level. Awesome. My sword is still glowing on my back.
Regina, wake up! Are you all right? Only she would smile at a time like this.
What? What is this about? Oh, God. She's awake. Did you get the thing? What a dumb fucking cutscene.
Netherling looks hale as warrior in their prime. Good! Our wicked foes fled from Sundrop Dance like twilight before dawn.
They sure did, buddy. It's good to see you awake. Don't worry, you weren't asleep for long. And judging by your fierce expression, the cradle didn't sap any of your trademark vigor.
Work is done, Regina. You did a commendable job as our shield. Now you can lay down your burden. It was thanks to your bravery that I was able to deal the final blow to Leofine.
And with the cradle back in our possession, I think we can consider this expedition across the seas to be a success. The Zundu helped us gather the wounded and see them safely off to Ishgard. We couldn't have done it without you.
Netherlings protect allies as fiercely as Galakat protecting kittens. Zundu are moved by your might. You were equally as impressive. I should learn the Sundrop Dance myself, though I won't strike a figure half as fierce as yours.
Okay.
The Zundu seem to have everything well in hand. Handalu is likely eager to see us. We should return to Ishgard as soon as we can.
Or the Parrot? Fuck. I guess it makes sense because Kurthus is that way, but I fly from the pillars. The fuck? I'm so fucking utterly lost. Whatever you do, don't look at my Beast Tribe quest area. I have not upgraded it. Oh well. Oh, there it is. Meow. Well, that was an adventure, right? We stopped the most notorious problem in all of raids: sleep. I've received word that Leofine will no longer be a thorn in our side. You and your companions from Tyrol truly were sent by the Fury herself. She fell from the island, but her griffin went to go catch her, so yeah. But she shouldn't be waking up.
Ah, the heroes of the day have returned. Thanks to your valor, the threat of Leofine posed is no more. What's more, not a single life was lost.
Then what about the guys I beat up? Did I not kill them? I'm a Dark Knight. Killing's what I do.
On behalf of the Temple Knights, allow me to express my utmost gratitude to you all. You don't owe me any thanks. After all, it was my fault that the cradle was stolen in the first place. And ultimately, my fault that your delegation to Okzundu turned into a melee. Melee! It may be true that our visit to the Sea of Clouds was far from peaceful, but the bond between the Zundu and the Temple Knights was only deepened through overcoming mutual adversity. Blessings often take inscrutable forms. And while we know not whether Leofine yet lives, we do know that she can no longer reach the source of her ill-gotten power. We have little more to fear from her. The crisis behind us, the common folk no longer have aught to fear. We will make known the story of Leofine's schemes and the heroes who work to foil them, and in time, I hope that trust in our order will be restored. The Temple Knight shall continue to build relations with our neighbors for years to come, relations which shall form the foundation for Ishgard's future. We'd be honored if we could count you among our allies in this endeavor. Anything you need, simply call upon us. We'll be there, no questions asked. And with that, oh my bad. And with that, it's time we return home. It's been an honor. We're passing through Tuliyola on our way back, Regina. You have business in those parts. We'd love to speak with you at Jabal Yavtaye before setting off. See you soon, hopefully. I'm about to say Jabral for some odd reason. Jabroni. Alright. All's well that ends well. For 10 years he alone defended his people, without rest or sleep. I understand the importance of tradition, but Master Tentoa seems to be more suited to walking a path of his own making. He needs but to know his own heart. I believe these recent events have given him such knowledge. He's bound for greatness, regardless of how he chooses to live. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. It's foggy today here in Tuliyola. Well, that was a storyline. Yeah. Howdy. Glad you made it back to Tyrol, Regina. I've been in Ishgard for so long I'd almost forgotten what it was like to sweat. But I remember now. You can be sure. Regina, there you are. I was afraid we wouldn't see you before we left. We arrived not long ago and apprised Brook Evu of everything that happened. It's the longest I spent away from our village. Even though Tuliyola and Ishgard were like entirely different worlds to me, I was only ever treated with kindness. Is anything the matter, Tentoa? Nothing, it's just something I've been thinking about. Our people have always been self-sufficient, but the Ishgardians and the Zundu showed that looking to your neighbor can reveal a way through the harshest difficulties. And you heard, Handalu. The bond between Ishgard and Okzundu was only made deeper through their shared ordeal. To trust another to such a degree. Well, I think it's a goal we should all strive toward. We have at least one friend like that, don't we? She who bent her ears to every note of the narwhal's lullaby without a shade of fear in her eyes. Thank you, Regina. For believing in us. For believing that no matter the outcome,
your actions would not be in vain. In so doing, you taught me the worth of fighting alongside allies you can trust. Sure. I only protected you as you protected me. Is that what I did? I honestly don't remember much about that moment. I think I was only acting on instinct. I suppose that's what it means. That's what it means to have faith in your allies. But approaching someone with open arms means they'll accept you. The relations between our peoples and our neighbors must have been strained by generations of mistrust. We must take care to mend them properly. We can do that and learn to look towards the future hand in hand, and there will be no need to use a cradle ever again. People can sleep and dream untroubled and awaken with bright eyes. I want to see those days come to pass. Me too. Then you and I can finally spend more time together. Right. Of course. We're going to see this future, and we should get back to our village. I'll be overjoyed to see the cradle returned. Thank you for everything, Regina. Next time we meet, we both have good news to share. Yippee! Now I can die stuff. No sleep till Tuliolol. Fair enough. Alright. And with that... But that was all the tank roll quests. Holy crap, that was kind of boring. But I suppose it was nice in the end. Y'all had a good time. Oh god, auto run. You know. Oh, we're gonna get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next set of roll quests, because, you know, we're going on to the next one. I've been the Bewitched Riddle. Keep your mind sharp and stay safe out there. Goodbye.